Hey guys, Melon Popper here again. Just going to show you some settings I'm using that I'm liking pretty well with Assetto Corsa EVO. Having some success with that in VR. So what I'm using now in the Pimax play settings, using the Assetto Corsa drop down, got it enabled. 65% seems to work pretty good on my 7900xtx AMD video card, coupled with my 9800X3D AMD CPU. So we got quad views on, performance. We're going to go ahead and start it. And when I click start, real quickly, I want to close this box. If you leave this box open, in particular with Assetto Corsa EVO in VR, and this is in the background, you'll have a lot of frame rate issues, stuttering, etc. So start, close that, minimize this, and you should be ready to rock. So the game is loading. All right. Continue here. And at first you're going to see the two sides, the left and right eye of the VR. I'll change that in just a minute. But we're going to go into settings and video. Just so you can see real quickly how I got things set up. VSync is off, full screen is on. Native resolution. Graphics preset is custom because I basically set everything to low, and then I come in here, change upscaling to none, FSR native. It's not actually doing anything because upscaling is off. I did pick up a few frames with it on, but I also picked up some blurry stuff with it, so I didn't like it. Anti-aliasing is all the way up to get rid of the jagged edges on lines, railings, etc. You might play with adding more if you need more, but this seems to be working pretty good with the FXAA on. All of this or all of that, one or the other, doesn't seem to cut it. You have to have both. All right, and then AA, this is going to improve your texture quality. I run Ultra and Ultra on those. If you have a lesser video card, mine has 24 gig of RAM, you might consider running a lower texture pool size. I'm not sure where the breakdown is, but if you see that your memory usage is exceeding what you actually physically have and the frame rate goes terrible, it could be that you're exceeding your texture VRAM limitation. All right, so level of detail, I believe that's for Stadium and things like that. I don't really care about that, so all of that's low. Vehicle detail high is pretty good. It seems to show vehicles in a distance well. You could probably run Ultra if you wanted, but I haven't seen a need for it, and it just slows things down. The lighting I really haven't messed with too much. I just leave that alone. It looks okay. I don't care about reflections. They seem to have fixed the VR shadow. It does look like there's a shadow under the wheels now, even when you have it set to very low. You don't have to crank it up anymore. Grass density, I just turned that on low just so you have some grass and it's not just look like something that was just shaved or just cut rather. All right, clouds quality, I don't care about that. I'm not looking at the clouds while I'm racing. Post processing, I think the default is default. I'm using cinematic. It's supposed to make it look a little more vivid. Ideal for streaming maybe. And I turn depth of field off and all the blurring off. Mirrors, I use single. Resolution, I went to high. These changes, you're going to have to restart the game to see it. I've noticed that if you leave that on low and move it to high and apply it won't do anything. You got to restart. View distance, I got it on low for now. Optimize on. And that's it. All right, so those settings, while I'm recording, mind you, I'm getting about 33 frames per second in this view. It's usually about 45 in the game with cars around, maybe 20s when it's launching the race. But it gets up to 45, 50, 60, stuff like that. All right, we're going to go change the vehicle. Kind of like in the Porsche. Yeah, these are just skins, it doesn't matter. So confirm, back, start session. I'm going to change the view so that you just see the one, probably just set it to where you just see the right eye. The right eye has some tire information that's kind of floating around, so we'll see that. Okay, here we go. We're going to change. All right. So on my monitor, I still have the split view because that's, you know, what I'm actually seeing, but I'm just showing you guys the right eye so that you don't have to deal with the split view. All right, let me hit escape here, get my headphones and VR goggles on. So right here, I'm showing 22 frames per second, pretty dismal. Micro stutter has gone down to 0. Frame time is 45, which is awful. But this is with all the cars possible. So this is worst case scenario. 25 frames, 26, 27, you know, stuff like that. But it will get better. Let's get the helmet on. All right. Resume. Set space to center. Move the mouse out of the way. Okay, I gotta quickly. Maybe we won't get rear-ended. So this is Mount Panorama. Long straightaway here. Typically can go flat out, but we got a lot of traffic here. Kind of late break here. Late downshift too, for that matter. Up the hill. Kind of taking it easy here. I'm not sure what the tire situation is. It might be cold. Where'd this guy come from? And please don't grade me on my driving. That's not really the point of the video. The video is just showing you what it looks like in VR. Recenter the VR. I've got spacebar set to recenter the VR, so it's pretty easy to just kind of reach up, even though I can't see it. Just reach up and tap the spacebar every once in a while so it's out of whack. I have done, I think, 3 laps of this track in Assetto Corsa EVO. All of my laps have been in Forza. So I'm just kind of applying what I know from Forza to this. And what I notice in VR that I don't see in Forza, because Forza doesn't support VR, what I notice in VR here is elevation. These undulating hills where you're going up and down them and stuff, you just kind of get a better sense of height. Now I've got the CSL DD from Fanatic. We've got their steering wheel and pedal combination. The steering wheel has pedal shifters on it. And I am getting some feedback, but I cannot feel any bumps on the road, hardly at all. And if I turn up the force feedback gain, the steering wheel gets incredibly heavy, way too heavy. So I've got the gain turned down, so it's not. Oh, look at this guy! Wow, he's gripped up, isn't he? Okay. I've got the gain turned down real low, just so it's not yanking the wheel out of my hand anymore. But in doing so, it seems like it might have also diminished the details of the road. Like I can feel it, like right there, it pulls the, yeah, it's pulling the wheel. Ooh, that's a fast spin. See if we can pull out without getting run over. There's still a lot of weird, like this flickering here. I gotta fix that stuff. I don't know that that's hurting frame rate. I suspect it's not, because I don't notice any dips when they come into view. But it sure does make your eyes struggle to focus on what's going on the road. You got all these flickering textures. Like all the people up here, if you look at them, they're all blacked out. Except for a few guys. They're all blacked out with weird textures. You alright, buddy? So on the 7900 XTX video card I have, and the Pimax, it seems like 65 to 70% resolution is about as high as I can go on most games. Higher than that, it does get a little crisper. It looks really good at 80% and higher, but you'll kill your frame rates. They'll just cut them in half. So for this setup, 9800 X3D AMD CPU, clocked at 5.4 gigahertz on all cores, with hyperthreading enabled. And a 7900 XTX I have is the MSI one. You can bump the power up on it, and you can overclock it and stuff, but it doesn't really do any better because it's power limited. So my plan is, I've got a second PC that's made from parts left over from the previous PC, and it's a great PC, 6900 XT video card, AMD, and a 5950X 16-core AMD CPU. Terrific CPU. Doesn't have the 3dB cache, but doesn't really matter. And it's got a 1080p monitor, a widescreen, just mouse and keyboard, Windows 11. And it runs pretty good, but I really don't have much need for it. I priced some things on eBay just to see what the individual parts are worth, and just kind of added it up that way to get a total. It's like a couple grand maybe is what it's worth. Whoops. So, you know, I was thinking, well, if I could get a couple grand for it, then I will absolutely be getting a 5090 NVIDIA card. I want to try DLSS. Now I know that DLSS is not going to add any frame generation to VR like it does in 2D platform. But the DLSS itself is a sharpening technique, and you can use that instead of, say, TAA in some games, like Flight Simulator. It'd be nice to get away from using TAA, which causes a blurry mess, to get rid of the jagged edges. And it might get better frame rate too. Just going from FSR to DLS, it's going to be sharper. And we can inject that new DLL and try out the DLS S4 by doing a DLL swapper. Yeah, that height of the hill, going over that hill is good there. Looks like there's some tree pop in that probably needs to be adjusted. That might have something to do with the object detail setting. Got a caution light up here. Now he's giving me a green flag, so. Okay, they're going green flag with cars in the middle of the road. Wow. Got a little problem there. That one back there was a blue light. That one's yellow with a green flag. That doesn't make much sense to me. But hey, it's early access. Anything can happen. Including improvements. Right? Game's looking pretty good. This frame rate, we're probably in the 40s, nope, 35, 30, 33 right here. Of course, it's rendering the world. Lots to look at here. 33 sounds like it would be awful, but surprisingly, it's not that bad. I could certainly knock the detail down from 65% resolution in the Pimax client to maybe 60, and probably retain much of the resolution quality and pick up another 5 or 10 frames maybe. So it's really just a personal preference. Do you want clarity, or do you want high frame rate? And this is settings I'm using here. It's a little bit of both. Adequate frame rate from the VR so that I don't get sick. It's not choppy at all. And it looks clear enough. These guys who just broke down brown. Okay, what's the blue light? I don't know what that was. Blue light, green flag, yellow light, another green flag. Well, the moment that they get this game online multiplayer, where we can actually race online, you're not going to see me in Forza anymore. I want to race in VR. I really, really want to race in VR. And the bots aren't cutting it, you know, they're just terrible. They're gonna run you off the road. About as bad as real players, but a little less unpredictable. So best lap is a 2:31, previous was a 2:32. We're off the road. Says we're in second place, I guess. The first place guy's like 5 laps ahead. Yeah, we've been screwing around. Okay, up here it says we're on lap 6 of 10, looks like. Position 2 of 24. Oh. Yeah, that says lap 5. Up here it says race 6 of 10. Well, that guy took second place from us. You can't have that, right? Woo! Whoa, what the heck? I think the right rear got off into the grass a little bit. Oh, maybe I got a bunch of damage. They're in the sand. Let's see if it'll even drive straight. Sorry, dude. Hell yeah, this thing is... Audio's pretty good. I'm looking at the car models, kind of popping in about where that yellow flag is. Pretty good, pretty good. Let's see what we got. 33 frames. Yeah, it's pretty low. Alright, I think we're in that there. Why don't we do this? Why don't we go to... Let's hop out of VR. And let's go to Forza and just look at the difference. Of course, this is VR versus 2D. Woo, that yanked the hell out of the wheel. Sorry, that audio is so loud. The in-game audio settings where I've turned it down has no bearing on that video that plays at the beginning, so it's always insanely loud. Play. Race. Probably free play. Quick event. Get my whip. My Lola. Hello. There's a cat at my window. I raised the window when it gets hot in here. Automatic, noon, random. Oh wait, did we get the right? Let's go advanced. Lola. We'll just do damn, what was the name of that? Not Panorama, there we go. Just do noon, that's probably what that other one was set at. We'll set them to... Assetto's set to like 90%, so we'll do 7 and just see. I have no idea if I can keep up with those guys. It's not really important. We're just kind of seeing what it looks like. No changes to the wheel or anything, just... That's probably not going to matter. It's unlimited right now. Here we go. Different car, I know, different game and everything, but anyway, 181 frames per second with all the cars on the grid, 188 frames. Everything should, like, physically be really similar. Now the skybox is different. There's no clouds. It's just perfectly clear. So it's kind of dull. Not much grip there. As you can see in the bottom right, the tires, especially the front, are still blue. So they're cold. And even when they first turn all white, they're not warm. I mean, they're not hot. They're not fully up to temp. So as you can see, the AI is much more poised, much more clean. They're not jerking the wheel all over the place. They're not stopping in the middle of the track. Not running into each other all the time. Skip that corner. I just want to get around this guy if I can. Yeah, easing over, isn't he? That was kind of a weird AI thing there. He hit the brakes for some reason. Or he may have gear limited, I don't know. So yeah, I'm looking at the top right of my screen. I'm getting 201 frames per second. And this is with, that's 203 frames, 213, 14 frames per second. If you look at the video settings, everything's on ultra, full screen, 1440p. I've even added 175% resolution on top of 1440. That's crazy high resolution. I can run 200, but it'll drop the frames a little bit. Do run T8A to get rid of the jaggies. Graphic Ultra unlocked. Texture filtering all the way up. Ray tracing off. It's an AMD video card. You're just going to kill frame rate, and it looks about 2% better. It is totally not worth it. Car details all the way up. Mirrors all the way up and on. Textures all the way up. Motion blur off. Lens flare on high. That's pretty much it. This is just brightness. I've got HDR off. I like HDR, but not for recording. Causes some issues. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this thing, 213 frames per second with 175% resolution added on top of 1440p. I mean, this is an optimized game. This is the way it's supposed to be. Because when I play Assetto Corsa EVO, it doesn't have as much set dressing and detail, I don't think. And at the same resolution, with the same graphical options basically, in 2D, I get, you know, like 100 frames per second. About 100 frames less. 80 to 100 frames less. In a brand new game. That's not good. So naturally, if you're only getting, you know, 75 or 80 frames in 2D flat panel in Assetto Corsa EVO, and you turn on VR, you're going to get half of that if you have the VR settings set up correctly. go. They really like to get close to you here. If I ease over to him, let's see what he does. He stayed in it. Thought maybe he'd just jam on the brakes, you know, and panic. Okay. Go wide there, brother. Trying to get around this guy. Hard to catch anybody when he gets stuck behind one guy. Woo! I got the suspension set up real soft in the rear. Keep it from looping out, but even that will only do so much if your tires are not happy. I don't have ABS on, I don't have traction control on, I don't have stability. Of course the driver lines are off, so and manual shifting, the paddle shifter. Alright, well I think we'll end it there. The point of the video is just kind of visually show you what the differences are frame rate wise, AI wise, etc. Alright, like I said, I've got a Discord, a YouTube that you know about, and the Twitch, so hit me up on there. Feel free to stop by. Alright, I think we'll end her there. GG's, and see you next time.